Hi people, my name is Vakir again as always and as usual. Yeah, this is gonna be a video on a neutral topic again as always and as usual. As you can tell, based on the header or from the header, this is going to be about hygiene and how important it is to pay close attention to your own personal hygiene. I mean, this is honestly a rhetorical topic in the sense that it doesn't need explaining, but this video is still a good reminder to people to pay attention to hygiene. When paying attention to hygiene, you need to tips and reminders. The main reminder is that you need to be self-conscious regardless of who you are or whom you are. And this applies to obviously both men and women, although women have a substantial advantage in that department, in the sense that men, because of the fact that they're more rugged or more prone to bad hygiene or contracting bad hygiene compared to women, although believe me, I have seen women that are just outright disgusting and awful. No offense to them, but still. So yeah, for women that especially suffer that suffer from bad hygiene, it will be exceptionally noticeable. So yeah, what example can I give? Regarding my own personal life, back when life was still a nightmare, bluntly put, because of all the black magic and all the negativity and all of that, yeah, it also happened to me. All of that negativity automatically made it so that at some point, I was like a teenager, I stopped paying attention to myself to such devastating levels that I essentially just let all the hair on my body in sensitive places and whatnot just grow, like my armpits, pubic hair, everything on facial hair, everything. I just ignored it completely because I was like dead inside, and just my hygiene was just horrible. I just bluntly put looked and smelled like shit, honestly. I generally speaking didn't want to really take a shower, or even when I did take a shower, all I did was just stand under the water and not shower because I was just dead inside, so I didn't use logic or anything. And as a result, yeah, hygiene took a hit. My breath, all of those things were just horrible. Correct bathroom hygiene, bathroom related hygiene, but of course all of that stuff, this is lifetimes ago. And when I became more proficient in the occult, Samael is in charge of my hygiene, my beloved Lord Samael. I put him in charge of overall health, and obviously hygiene falls under health. That's what I meant. And yeah, and I saw, as I became more proficient, I saw my hygiene and my overall health go up, but specifically regarding hygiene, I became more self-conscious. So for example, if I just briefly sweat, I immediately smelled that I sweat. And if I briefly had a little bit of damp breath, for example, the way the average person does after eating or similar, having dinner, you name it, I also immediately smelled it. Not that I stank or anything like that, but yeah. And yeah, some people in the world, for some people in the world, this is a serious issue, especially people that suffer from health complications. Like I said, with women, not so much, regardless of who they are or what position they find themselves in, because women, they don't easily fall victim to bad hygiene, but for men especially, based on my way of life, the fact that I'm in an air-conditioned room almost all the live long day, and I don't really engage in physical activity. Honestly, guys, I shower once every 4 days. I'm not kidding. You want to know how you can be aware or recognize that I have showered? It's when I wear new clothes or clean clothes, fresh clothes. And that's why people that have followed me for years, you'll see in my videos that I, for example, if I shoot a video that's back to back, once a day or something like that, by sheer coincidence, you'll see that I'm wearing the same clothes. The second you see me with different clothes on compared to last week, then you can recognize that, yeah, that means he took a shower. That's how to recognize it. My cab drivers from the past, they recognize it. Even my current cab driver was like, yeah, I noticed that. When you wear new clothes, I know that yeah, you took a shower, you cleaned up and everything. That's what. Compare literally the video that I did like either yesterday or the day before, okay, to now. And you can clearly tell that I took a shower, I shaved, everything, like cleaned up, seriously cleaned up, different clothes, etc. You name it. But the thing is that again, as self-conscious as I am, this works for me. But if you're someone that like runs around a lot, you run a lot of errands, you really strain your body physically on a day-to-day basis, then yeah, you need to take a shower on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, in any case, I'm gonna give people tips, and that's how I'm gonna end this video. The most important thing is your state of mind. Obviously, you can't turn it on and off like a light switch, but your state of mind, if it is negative, there is a high probability that your health is also going to take a hit, including hygiene. So let's just say point one, heed your state of mind. Okay, be aware of your state of mind. If your state of mind is negative, whether you can do something about it or not, or you want to do something about it, there's a good chance that you might fall victim to bad hygiene. Point two, that's the most important point. Okay, point one, that's out of the way. Point two, focusing purely on the physical. Let's start by when people clean themselves up, you taking a shower. When you take a shower, you need to actually like take a shower. Some people have a tendency to sing in the shower, they daydream, they do this, they do that. They escape in their own little world, so to speak. But regardless of whether that's the case for you or not, people that are watching this, you need to still be self-aware if you do something like that, to the point where you actually take a shower, like you actually wash your body properly, you wash all the sensitive areas that need washing, the ones that are prone to standing out, or the ones that are the highest probability or have the highest probability of being responsible for bad hygiene or bad BO, aka body odor. And yeah, that's it in general for part two. Think about everything. It's not just taking a shower, washing your entire body off, soaping everything properly, and wiping away, so rinsing properly, wiping away all the soap, etc. This also applies to brushing your teeth. If you don't do so already, I would recommend that you floss, not just brush your teeth. Do both. I do both. I brush my teeth first, and then I floss, because your toothbrush will not be able to reach all the spaces in between your teeth, which might harbor leftover food that you ate from either yesterday or that day or similar, with all the negative consequences that will follow. And yeah, that's point two. Point three, bathroom hygiene. Yeah, this is the most disgusting one to bring up, so I'm going to try to be gentle in terms of phrasing. When you relieve yourself, okay, whether it is number one or number two, when you just relieve yourself overall, you need to pay close attention to hygiene, to see to it that there are no traces in or near any of your relieving orifices. I hope that I've made myself clear. So see to it that everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything is clear and everything is properly wiped off. So yeah, that concludes point three. Again, everybody knows what I mean, and if you don't know what I mean, oh boy, you're in big trouble. And point four, just be superficially self-conscious, in the sense that, like I said in the beginning, you're aware of it, okay? If you, for example, went running, or you sweat a lot for whatever reason, power fell out or something, or it's an especially hot day, a heat wave hits your town or city, for whatever reason you're sweating, you were super nervous, etc. You're actually perspirating, you're sweating. You need to be self-conscious. If you can, for example, smell yourself, that is a red flag. That means that other people can smell you. Okay? Because most people have been there, where you can smell yourself as in, hey, you smell that you're sweating. Okay? Or you smell that you're, for example, if you just ate, you can like smell your breath as in, hey, you just had a banana as a snack or whatever, and you can smell your own breath. the thing is similar to the video I did on becoming self-awareness. You'll find on being self-aware. You'll find out. Sorry, not a video. An article. You can find that linked in the description below. But it's related to this topic, but not so much in a physical manner. But it's still interesting to read if you haven't read it already. So by all means, go ahead if you haven't done so. You need to be self-aware. Similar to what I say in that article, specifically, long story short, is that people can't see themselves objectively, so factually, the way that the world sees them. In that same context, when people, for example, have bad hygiene, they have bad body odor or similar, regardless of where the odor is coming from, whether it's facially, so mouth, orally, or on any other place on their body, like their armpits, for example, or due to perspiration or otherwise. When that is the case, okay, and when that is the case and you're sweating and whatnot, the problem is that people can view themselves objectively because it's your body. You're used to your own scent, you're used to the way you smell, but obviously other people aren't used to that. Okay, it's like, oh boy, I need to bring it up again. It's like when you relieve yourself. When you relieve yourself, it has a damp smell, but you can handle it because it's your own body. You're used to it since you were born. It's your own body. So yeah, you know what time it is. So you can handle it, but someone else will not be able to handle it. So to someone else, you will smell like shit. Simply, plain and simple. You will smell horrible. Okay? And people will be like, oh God, you smell like crap. Yeah. Or they're not going to say anything, but they'll be like, oh God, I didn't smell all too fresh. Yeah. You need to be aware of that. So if you can smell yourself, all of a sudden you smell like, You just sit and all of a sudden you're like, You smelled a smell coming from your armpit. Briefly, just in a hint. And it's not a big deal to you because you're like, you just smelled yourself. You're like, yeah, that's my own body. Nope. To other people, it will be something to be mindful of, because if you can smell yourself, other people can smell you, definitely. And yeah, that's a simple example, I think. If it's like, again, I'm just going to close off point 4 with another reference, again, to the article I mentioned earlier. It's like, simply put, being ugly. Okay, ugly is a good example because it specifically involves the physical. When you're ugly, if you're like the average person, you can't view yourself objectively. You've seen yourself your entire life, so you don't see the ugliness. You just view yourself as normal, as average. But the world will remind you every single day of how ugly you are. Other people will definitely remind you. Society as a whole will remind you every second of every day, every moment, of how ugly you are and whatever shortcomings you might have physically. My point exactly. So yeah, that concludes point 4, and I'm going to close off with point 5. Is that, let's see, what was I going to say again regarding point 5? Let me see, what was I going to say again? Just give me a second. Let me see. Was I going to say anything regarding point 5? Yeah, point 5. Sorry, it took me a second to get to the thing. I almost forgot about it. Yeah, point 5, your diet. So what you consume overall, so what you eat and drink, also plays a big role on how your body excretes or discharges it. So essentially gets rid of it, pushes it out and gets rid of it. So if you're someone that, for generally speaking, eats food that has a lot of herbs and spices and ingredients to it, then more often than not, you can expect to also be extra vulnerable to bad hygiene. So you need to be mindful of that. I'm not saying that you have to specifically, change up your entire habits regarding your entire consumption-based habits or consumptive habits, but you need to just be aware of it. Okay, if you're noticing, for example, that your breath smells extra strong when you eat potato chips, a specific brand of potato chips, then I would recommend either eating a different kind of potato chips or not eating potato chips at all, as as much of an inconvenience as it can be to you. So again, it's all up to you. You would essentially have to choose potato chips or better hygiene. It's a no-brainer, honestly, unless you're a die-hard fan of potato chips, as in, give an example. But yeah, that's essentially it, okay? So these are all things that you need to be mindful of. And as long as you follow my advice, you should be fine. No issues whatsoever. I'm aware of all of these, obviously, since I brought them up to begin with. So I've never had any issues. Like I said, thanks to my own work. Like I said, thanks to Samael and my overall health status, which is exquisite, quintessential, even if I say so myself. I haven't had any issues, but in the past I did. And again, I noticed that thanks to him and my power overall, that I've noticed all the aforementioned, okay, and I knew that it was brought to my attention in the sense of, hey, I was being told, you need to be mindful of this, you need to be mindful of that, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And yeah, it just happened automatically, thanks to him and whatnot. Thanks to my work overall, it just happened automatically. And yeah, no issues, squeaky clean. I can easily say that I am, on a scale of 0 to 10, my level of hygiene is a 9.5 even. I'm like one of the cleanest guys in the world, even if I say so myself. Don't expect me to like smell like shit or anything like that in any given way, shape, or form anytime soon. That's all, guys. Bye. See you later.